Upgrades.
What is going on, everybody? Once again, it's Jorge. I'm here with Mike, and this is The Legend of Vox Machina, Season 2, Episode 7. And I think we finally maybe got a slowdown of a pace, but it was still a crap ton of information.
And it's still hilarious.
Yes, no, and that's the... It was still action-packed. It was still... like, there was still so much. And I think it's hard because compared to some of these previous episodes, it's hard to, like, stack up to it. But I guess initial thoughts for you, Mike. What were your kind of, like, initial thoughts right after watching this?
I mean, if we're considering this one like a slowed pace one, I just feel like most shows wish they had as much stuff to do as Vox Machina does.
Yeah.
Because there was, like, so much going on in this episode. I like that they kind of kept the same tone as the last episode at the beginning because they were, like, freaking out that, like, Pike wasn't there. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know where they were. And then, like, they slowly ease out of it with, like, Vax trying to calm Keyleth down. And then we get this thing where they finally realize that they're in the Fey realm. And it's like, I got hit by one of the moments that just really caught me off guard. And it was, like, one of the funnier things I've seen in this entire show is, like, Keyleth sees, like a Fey wild bird. And it's like, oh, that bird is, like, the cutest bird ever. And then, like, these carnivorous plants just wrap it up and rip it to shreds. And she's like, oh!
Yes. And it's so neat because the episode opens up with almost like that little dragoness, like little like flying serpent thing, up in the air. But yeah, no, that as soon as I saw that bird, I was like, something's about to happen, or like bird's about to like become a monster.
Yeah, it's one of two things.
Yeah,
like, it's either gonna be a monster, or it's gonna get ripped up.
Yeah, it was neat. So you kind of jump right into that, and then they keep kind of, which I find kind of neat. They were having flashbacks back and forth between, where one team is versus the other.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm trying to think which one do we want to like attack first because they both were good. I think probably Grog's story and Pike and Scandal. That one's probably the easier or quicker one.
Yeah.
But that one was like wild. They wake up, and what I found kind of interesting, I thought that Pike was still on Grog's sword when he ran to the teleporting thing that Keyleth was doing. But when they all kind of wake up, it's like Grog's on one side, Pike is somewhere else, and Scandalin, like they're all in the same vicinity, but they're not next to each other. Yeah. But I found it crazy when, Grog kind of starts seeing what he did, and luckily Pike was able to save herself.
Mm-hmm.
But it was interesting because while she was saving herself, you see her blood going like to the sword. But before that happened, I don't know if you noticed, Pike basically told him, can you move the sword away from us?
Yeah.
So I think it was one of those, I think that was interesting. And then obviously once he, they kind of caught him red-handed, and he's like, no, this sword's not bad. Like it's good.
Yeah.
And that's a part where I thought like things were going to turn for the worse, because you kind of see him like getting all raged up a little bit. And then he goes and realistically destroys this sword, which I think ensues in the funniest thing ever to me.
I thought he was going to do it on the first swing, like, because it was stuck in between the stones. I thought he was just going to snap it there, but he just like, he really tries to like smash the sword on like every bit of rock that's in that area.
I thought it was interesting because once he successfully breaks this rock, I think the sword actually says like, if you like break me, like I'm gonna take you too, or something like that.
Yeah, I'm taking you with me. And I was like, oh,
Yeah,
what does that mean?
and you see like this explosion of blood happen.
As if like all the blood it has sucked up in its entirety
Yes.
just fused forth at once, like in a giant, like shining level torrent of blood.
Yeah, and I think the funniest part is as soon as Grok realizes that he's like a slender, more lean version of himself. I love that his first reaction is to like smash his face into the blood,
Yeah.
hopes that it would like rage him up. But I thought that was interesting, and then that kind of leads to Pike and
He
Scandal.
literally doesn't have the strength to like lift himself up and walk on his own.
And I think that for me, that's probably the funniest part. 'Cause you have the two smallest team members helping the biggest one,
Yeah.
and just seeing how they made it like through the force and all that, like just those little like skit things, and they only lasted 2-3 seconds each, but they're hilarious. Like,
Yeah, it's a good montage.
yeah, it's like losing his pants. When they went to the river and he fell through, swinging on him through the
Yeah, they
through
make a zip line for him at one point.
yeah, like like I don't know, like it's so creative, like just little glimpse like that, like it shows me why like the creators of this show like are just so good. Because I think something like that, even if you were to explain it while actually playing D&D, I don't think it would convey as hilarious as like the visual images that we got through here. Um, but no, and then the one thing that I saw was when throughout that montage, Scandalin was kind of helping out Grog. And did you see how Pike kind of like took a step back, like smiling, looking at him?
Oh yeah, she
And
was into it.
yeah, and then he's like, "Oh," but then of course
He can't
he
help,
did,
he can't help
yeah,
himself.
he did him and shot himself in the foot, basically.
Yeah, he
But
tells like another kind of crude joke and immediately turns her off.
yeah, so I do wonder if I do wonder what's gonna happen between them, because I think that
Mhm.
like they're laying a really really good foundation. Um, so that's definitely like I'm excited to see that what comes of that. In terms of I guess that arc, so they end up reaching. I think it was like a little house or something.
Oh, I don't remember them getting anywhere yet. Like I think they're just like Pike says we got to get him somewhere. Like I think I know like how to make a little elixir that'll restore
Yeah.
your strength.
Okay. So they're taking him somewhere, and then you know that kind of ends, to my knowledge, kind of ends their little arc. Um,
It's funny you talk about how creative they were and like showing all the stuff in the montage because like on the flip side of things, like in the Feywild, you get to see their creativity because it's just like completely unbound. It's like what kind of weird things can we put in
oh
this weird ass like land?
yes, it that is like I can only imagine like if you take acid for quite some time, like that's what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Because it's so trippy where they're at. Certain things that were happening, like I thought were hilarious. And even there in the Feyland, like they end up meeting. I don't know what that creature was.
It's like a satyr.
Okay, so they end up meeting this creature who who was doodling hilarious things with them, or of them, I should say.
Like
Which I thought,
Vex with huge boobs,
yeah,
Percy with 3 penises with like the
each of
heads
their
of the other
faces.
people on the heads, which was really
It just yeah, like that one it was hilarious, and I'm still like it.
I think his name is Garmili.
I think yeah, but I
Yeah.
find it, like I still find it like I find it wild that this is gonna be like on TV basically, like on Amazon.
Yeah.
Like it just it blows me away. But you have this, and you see them kind of going through this like trippy place. and they encounter what's like I don't even know what that blob is.
So it was like some kind of ooze, and then they combine into like form a giant ooze to fight them. Like it's like probably like I don't know 15, 20 feet tall, and it's
Okay.
just like slapping at them with like these huge pseudopods. It stays true to in-game mechanics of being like kind of acidic, so it'll like kind of melt stuff. That's
Okay.
why like every time they tried to stab it or shoot it with arrows, like it would just like kind of fizzle and like not work.
Yeah.
One of the things, this is actually the first time I saw something in this show where like kind of technically not accurate to the game mechanics.
Ooh.
And the way that they do this is like the final killing blow on this is Percy teaming up with Vax, which is a good thing because like Vax still clearly hates Percy for putting his sister in danger.
Yep.
And like Percy is a nerd. He's like, oh, I've read like 1,000,000 books on the Feywild. I'll be our guide. And like he doesn't really know anything about the Feywild because the Feywild is like unpredictable. So he's been like kind of screwing up, and like Vax has kind of like hated him for it, like on top of everything else. Like they went through like an awakened forest, and like these like weird vine things like choke him out until he's got to free himself.
And that part was kind of funny to me. Percy's just like, oh, just think happy thoughts, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And you're walking through, but he did mention something which I thought was cool. So Vax mentioned, and you can almost see it. It's like everything is out to get him.
Yeah.
And I wonder if this is another one of those because he already has like this vest on him.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what other, I don't want to say creatures because I don't know if they were creatures, but like other beings are trying to get from him. But yeah, so they they end up fighting this like monster jello looking thing, which you know it's kind of neat, but
I team up with it, and then like Percy has like this new secret weapon that he's had underneath his glove the entire time. Yeah. It looks kind of like a repulsor, but it's like just something that builds up an electrical charge.
Yeah.
So he gets Vax to like lure the blob into some water, and then he electrifies the water, and it just fries the blob, and it blows away. In D&D, like the mechanics on such blobs is like if it takes slashing damage or lightning damage, it splits into two smaller ones.
Oh, so then it would have just split it into a whole bunch of little guys.
Yeah, but I mean, it still looked cool. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, no, I was
also it's the Feywild, so maybe they run on different mechanics. You never know.
Yeah. I will say the one part which I thought was super neat was obviously while all this was happening, the girls were having a trip. Like
because the blob thing blew out a bunch of spores at them.
And they're just there. And I think that trippy thing was done so well. Like the animation during that trippy thing, like was remarkably amazing. I think my favorite was when the butterfly went to Keyleth and winked at her.
Yeah.
Then when Percy's going over and he just starts kind of like almost spinning around, like into the like it's just
spirals.
It's so well done. Like just that one was a highlight for me. Just that little like trippy scene there.
All but the colors. Trinket is talking to Vince, which is great. It's like, you're really fucked up.
Yeah. And then she was like, I didn't think you sounded like that.
Yeah.
But I thought the thing which was also neat is once they were done, you know, like I guess kind of like sobering up per se. When Keyleth like vomits, instead of it being vomit, it's like a rainbow.
Yeah, it's rainbow puke.
And for her to literally be like, I can taste every color.
Yeah.
Like, I lost it there. Like that was hilarious to me.
It reminds me of Gravity Falls. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Yes.
There's like that one early episode where all of the gnomes are trying to date the girl, and then like that one gnome runs off to the side and pukes, and it's all rainbow.
Yeah, no. Like it was just neat. I don't know. I really dug this episode, and I think, which is wild to say, like I don't know if I would still classify this as a filler. I think it's close because
it's close, but it has a lot. It still forwards the plot a lot.
Like they're both progressing in very different, areas.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only well, no, and they still fought like a big bad guy, like in
Yeah,
this
we're
in
one
this.
big bad guy. We get to see Umbrasyl, that's the name of the black dragon, talking to Thordak. And
Yes.
Thordak is just like, why are you wasting your time running around finding these weapons? Bring me more treasure.
Yeah.
And Umbrasyl is trying to explain, dude, like, if we collect all these weapons, no one's gonna be able to touch us. And so Thordak is like, all right, fine, you can go ahead and look for these weapons or whatever, but just make sure to bring me more treasure.
Yeah.
I was like, I finally placed the voice. It took me a while to figure it out because, like, remember I said like I would love it if Thordak ended up being Tony Todd, who was the red dragon in Dota.
Yeah.
It's not. It's Lance Reddick, the guy who plays the concierge in all of the John Wick movies. At least that's who I'm hearing now.
Oh.
But yeah,
Yeah.
we see Anna Ripley there again with Umbrasyl, and she's like, whatever, he's an idiot. He could be a god. Instead, he wants to worry about gold.
Yeah, and that's I'm trying to understand what her play is or her plan.
Yeah, I'm really into I'm trying to figure out, or at least remember what her in is with these
Yeah.
dragons, and what how she's going to use these vestiges.
Yeah, because I find it interesting how, well, a few things, because this goes back, I think last episode or episode before, is when the whole Sphinx thing was happening.
Mm-hmm.
How did the dragon know where they were at? Like, how that one threw me off.
I
'Cause when
think dragons are just good trackers when they want to be. Technically speaking, a black dragon wouldn't be the best at that. Usually, the white dragon is usually something that would be doing something like that because they tend to be the more bestial, the ones that are more interested in like the hunt or whatever.
Okay.
But like it's clear that Umbrasyl was much more driven by like getting these vestiges.
Okay. Yeah, because that was the only part that kind of threw me off, and I'm trying to wonder, did that crystal ball, like, is that connected to
Oh, maybe.
one of them, or is it letting her? Is it one of those things like where she can just ask, like, "Where's Vox Machina?" and it will just, show them? But no, it's just I'm really intrigued at how she will play into this moving forward, I
Yeah.
guess. But yeah, but no, this episode, like, it's crazy because, like, so much still happens in all these episodes, and I do wonder how they're going to. And I guess this is where I don't understand, like, the different realms, but are they at in the same, like, time zone or like time? You
So that's a really fun thing is in the Feywild, um, there is no like day or night. It's like always in like this kind of twilight
okay?
time. Additionally speaking, when you exit the Fey realm, like you have to do a dice roll for how much time has passed.
Oh,
So there could be a significant amount of time the next time they roll out of the
oh,
Fey.
see, and I wasn't even thinking like that. I'm thinking like, because Grog and Pike and Scanlan are in another, place, like, are they still in the same, like, world or realm, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. So they said that like due to the mountains and stuff, they thought they were back on Taldore. So they think they're back on the prime material plane.
okay, because it's like, I wonder how that's like, if that spell just teleports them to a place, or if it's teleports them to like a time, and because they fell off of
Mm.
it, it's like, are they going before all this happened? Are they going after?
So
um
they will the plane shift spell takes you to another plane of existence entirely. But what they are saying is that somehow when Umbrasyl charged them at the end of that one episode,
yeah.
it disrupted the spell, and so like maybe they were able to get to the Fey realm, and the others had to like just get spit out somewhere on the material plane.
Okay, that makes sense then. Yeah, because I'm just that was my only thing where I'm watching and I'm like, oh man, how, like, multi-layered dimension can we get real quick here? Um but no, but other than that, I guess, do you have any closing thoughts or anything that happened that we didn't touch upon?
No, I mean, like, really, like I said, like I love that this was like a quote unquote slower episode, but it still had a big monster fight. You still
Yeah.
saw the dragons and like what they're plotting. You got like two hilarious bits with like Grog being like super weak,
Yes.
and the Keyleth and Vex like getting like going on a trip. Like
Yeah.
it's a lot, and you still get like a good amount of like character stuff between Vax and Percy, kind of like starting to bury the hatchet over getting Vex killed, but like, you know, it's still clearly something. Like on top of that, like it's, I mean, it's pretty clear that like Vex and Percy are starting to like couple up
Yeah.
in the realm of the game or in the show, and like, what will that do for someone who's like such an overprotective brother the way that Vex is?
No, agree. And I think the one thing which I don't think we touched about this episode at all, but the musical scores throughout
Oh
this season
yeah,
have been spectacular.
yeah.
Like,
There's been I feel like there's been way more singing this season, but like I'm here for it. Like
yeah,
they have this like almost like country duo like
yes.
traveling song that both Ashley Johnson and Sam Riegel were able to sing as Pike and Scanlan. So
No,
real good stuff.
it's good. I'm super stoked to see where this goes. But yeah, but other than that, I mean, I think that's yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, and I can't. I'm excited to see where this is gonna go because I think obviously this next episode we're gonna end up seeing.
Oh yeah, we gotta tell them like because the members of Vox Machina that were in the Feywild were so entertaining to Garmili. Garmili has agreed to take them to the Shade Murk, the big bog where they saw the bow and arrow implanted in a tree.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
On their way there, though, they find this huge city, and Vax and Vex reveal that that city is Singorn, the elven city where they spent their childhoods with their father.
Yeah, a lot of like family stuff happening throughout all these episodes.
Yeah, it's
Just
good. It's real good to see all
good.
of that interplay. And again, all of this stuff touching on like the character flaws that that Osisa first like pointed out. Like clearly Vex is going to have to deal with her daddy issues like in the next episode or so.
Or you would hope so, but we'll see. No, but this is awesome. No, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to watch it and review it here in a little bit. But yeah, if you don't got anything else, Mike, I don't have anything else. We can
Yeah.
just jump right into it, guys. So as always, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Um, let us know what your favorite musical number is. That's gonna be my question.
What would you like Garmili to draw next?
Yes. Please do not email those in. No, but yeah, other than that, guys, as always, this is Mike and Jorge, and we will see you next time.
Peace.